Months prior to my experience, I had gone through an abortion. I dreaded my decision and actually contemplated suicide out of remorse and guilt feelings. I struggled with how to forgive myself and how to move on in life, trying to forget what I had done. I spent weeks of wishing death on myself and feeling undeserving of being able to live a full life, knowing I had taken a life. Then an auto accident was about to happen, unbeknownst to me. I was leaving my mother's apartment and was heading back to my apartment. I had planned a barbecue with numerous friends the week prior. I was in a terrible auto accident. A huge boat of a vehicle rammed into my little flimsy car. The impact sent my face slamming into the steering wheel and actually bent it in half. I collided into the dashboard and broke it. It all happened so incredibly fast, and I had a pair of sunglasses on that embedded into my right upper brow. My face started to bleed profusely and I struggled to get out of the car. I feared it would catch on fire or explode because it was still revving in gear but not moving. I watched another person who witnessed the accident and was set on getting out of my car to try and get his license plate number before he could drive away. I couldn't figure out how to undo the seatbelt at first, because for some reason, I was attempting to unfasten it from the wrong side. When I did manage to undo the seatbelt and open my door, I proceeded out of my car. I took a step or two and my body went into shock. I fell completely backwards with my head hitting the street with full force. The next thing I know, I am in a space. It was not quite like a room with walls or doors, but it was an open space. It was so warm and comfortable. The best words to describe it was a feeling of utter contentment and peacefulness. It was bright and vibrant. God was there before me, and I was delighted to see that God was holding my child. The baby was an infant and perfect in size and shape. God spoke to me and said something to the effect of, "Everything is good. He is perfect and I forgive you. Do not feel guilty. You are forgiven and I love you." I wish I could remember verbatim what was said. We communicated and I was able to touch and hold the baby. I felt complete peace and forgiveness. I was ready to be with my child and embrace being a parent. God told me that He would watch over the baby and that he would be fine, but that I had to go back. He said that I would get to come back and be with my child in the future. But for now, I had a purpose and had to return. I felt reluctant about leaving because I wanted to stay here in this beautiful, warm, comfortable, peaceful place. And knowing that I was forgiven, made my heart swarm with warm fuzzy feelings. I said goodbye to my child, kissed him, and handed him back to God. I recall the baby being wrapped in a soft, silky blanket. It was a pleasant goodbye. There was no feeling of doom or sadness having to leave. I was overwhelmed with relief and felt rested, and again a peaceful, content feeling. I was then looking down at my body and at the circumstances going on below me. The intersection and streets were completely blocked off. There were police vehicles, ambulance, and many people in a circle around me. Someone was kneeling behind me and holding my head, someone was praying for me, people were chattering, and there was a lot of hustle and bustle going on. People were walking up from the beach, which was only a block away. I could see me, lying there in the middle of the street with all this commotion going on around me. I saw my favorite brand, Guess overalls drenched in blood. I remember thinking, wow. How much time has passed that all of this has taken place since I fell to the ground. Then I smelled some strong scent of whatever was being held under my nose and I was back in my body. I felt really heavy and like I had been drugged or was in a very deep sleep. I was trying to wake up, trying to open my eyes. My eyelids felt so heavy and I was not in any sort of pain. Then when I opened my eyes, it was like someone turned the muted volume on to high and everything was very loud and present. I could comprehend the young men who were telling each other my heart rate and my vitals. Someone asked me if I knew where I was, what the date was, and what my name was. All I could think about was, are my teeth still there? All those years of braces and neck gear, and my mouth felt like someone punched me and that my teeth had fallen inwards. I had swallowed a lot of blood, so much so, that they thought they were going to have to pump my stomach.